Hi, Brookside. We had a suggestion in our suggestion box from Thomas about catching in baseball. So what I'm going to do today is talk to you a little bit about catching, a little bit about some of the techniques and the fundamentals, and these are things that you can do at your house with really not a lot of space. And I'll attempt to do them today, but you'll get an idea. If you have somebody that can help you flipping you some balls, it would probably work a little bit better than what I'm going to do today, which is being in my basement and throwing balls off of the wall. But you can do that to practice as well. Okay, so catching is a very difficult position in baseball. One of the more difficult things because you have to really be able to do a bunch of different fundamentals and different things. First of all, and most importantly, you have to be able to catch. And with the catching part of it, that's what we call receiving. So today I'm going to be giving you some receiving drills that you can do to practice where you actually don't even really need a glove. These are drills that our team does and our catchers do really to start out before they even get to the practice with the gloves. So the first part about catching is the stance, and we'll go over the stance here in just a second. And then we'll do receiving. After receiving, then you also need to know how to block. When balls are in the dirt and runners are on base, you need to be able to block the baseball, keep it in front of you so the runners don't advance. And then there's also throwing. You have to be able to throw out runners that are stealing. When you get to a little bit older age group where there is stealing, and stealing starts to happen in youth baseball earlier and earlier. And then lastly, catching is a position of leadership. You're kind of the general on the field, calling out the outs, you're making sure the pitcher's doing what they're supposed to be doing, giving the pitcher confidence. So catching is a very complicated, very kind of intense position, but it's also very rewarding because you really get to touch the ball just about all the time. You're not waiting around, you're involved in every single play and every single pitch. Okay? All right, so first let's go over stance here real quick. There are two stances that catchers need to know. There's the primary stance and the secondary stance. The primary stance is when nobody's on base. And you want to be in a comfortable position, a position where you're in the catcher's squatting position, crouching position, where you can do that for a long period of time. So it takes a little bit of flexibility. The second one is called the secondary stance, and the secondary stance has to do with runners on base. You want to be up a little bit higher so you can block balls, so you can throw runners out, so you can kind of hop out from behind the plate if you need to on a bunt, certain things like that. Okay, so kind of attempt to show you the two different stances right now. Okay, so the primary stance, you want to have your feet kind of spread apart, a little bit like a duck, because it's easier to get yourself down into the position where you can stay in that position for most of the time. Okay, so your feet are spread apart a little bit like a duck, and then you're down. Okay, you can squat down, you can move around side to side, and this would be a position that you can be in for a lengthy period of time. Okay, glove would be kind of out in front. Okay, so we're down, feet are kind of spread apart, kind of in a duck. You can sway, you can move, and you can just sit in this position for a long period of time. The second stance is called the secondary stance. It takes a little bit more effort and a little bit more muscles in your legs, training in your legs, because you need to be sitting up a little bit higher. So when you're in that position, your feet are facing right straight ahead, you're down, okay, and your thighs are parallel. Okay, you're not sitting down low, you're not up high, they're just parallel. So if I turn to the side, flip it all the way, okay, you'd be in this position right here, your glove out. Then you can go down block, you can come up to throw. You're just in an all-around better kind of stance, okay? So those are the two stances, primary and secondary. Now, let's talk a little bit about receiving. So receiving is really kind of one of the most important parts about catching. And our catchers at the high school level practice their receiving all the time. I'm going to give you a couple drills that you can do kind of to start, and then we'll kind of move on in the next video. Okay, so the first one is actually just our catchers going around and framing, kind of framing the strike zone where we want their glove. Okay, they don't use a ball, they don't use anything, they just go around, and then we'll have a coach point to them and point to a spot, and then they'll just kind of imaginary go to that spot. And this is without a glove. Okay, so this is what it looks like. All right, so we'll be down in just any position. I'm in my kind of primary position. Okay, I have my glove out. Now, what we do is we'll just go around, okay, how we will have our hand, okay, with every pitch. Now, we'll have a coach that'll point, and then we'll go to that spot. Okay, so if we go to this spot out here, and I'll do it right, I'm left-handed, but I'll do it right-handed. Let's say we go to what's called the inside position on a right-handed hitter. Okay, and we point to that spot. We'll go this way and shake hands with the baseball. Okay, if we go to the outside position, we'll go out and we'll see our fingers are pointed out towards the pitcher. So we want to get around the baseball, beat the baseball to the spot. Okay, a low pitch, we want to try and get out as far as we can before gravity takes it down. Okay, and then a pitch that's up high, okay, we want to take it as far back as we can to let it travel a far distance so it can kind of sink down and hopefully be a strike. Okay, so we'll just point to those positions. Okay, so we'll go here, 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 here with our thumb always underneath. Okay, as you can tell, my cat is kind of a baseball fan and likes to help me out with my videos, so he won't get in the way too much. Okay, so that is kind of our first framing drill. Okay, our second one involves the ball. Okay, and you can have somebody that just tosses you the ball back and forth. So what we're doing is we're always trying to get our thumb kind of underneath on the low pitch. We're going to shake hands with the one that's inside, get around it, the one that's outside, and then try to take the high one back as far as we can. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I use a tennis ball. You can use a tennis ball. You can actually use a real baseball, something soft, okay? Okay, so just have somebody toss you the ball. Okay, you're getting ready, and we're just trying to catch it. So you see how I caught it. I want to catch it like this. Okay, so I'm ready. Soft hands. Shake hands with it. Get around it. Okay, so this drill really helps with softening up the hands and getting your hands in the right position. Okay? Okay, so that's a drill that we'll do to start. Now the second one is a little bit more challenging, and it might be a little bit more challenging with someone with smaller hands, but what we do is we put a ball in between the thumb and the index finger, and then our players have to catch it with the pinky. And again, it just creates soft hands, it gets kind of the hands in the right position. You may not be able to do this drill yet, or you may have to try to find a smaller ball, tape up a smaller ball, but it's a little bit more challenging, okay? And it's even challenging for me because I'm not a catcher, but I'll hopefully try to show you here real quick. Okay, so I found a smaller ball here. Okay, so I'm going to have it here, and I'm going to try to catch it, so you're going to have to try to catch it with two. A little bit high on the throw. Here we go. Okay. So as you can see, that one's a little bit more challenging, and for when you get a little bit better at it. So let's see if I can show you. So I have the ball here, and I'm trying to catch it this way. Okay. The next one is a drill that we use, which also helps with getting our glove in the right position. And what we do is we have a bucket that's kind of underneath in front of the players, and we'll throw balls to them, and they'll try to deflect the balls into the bucket. Now, we won't work on low pitches on this, obviously, but this is a great drill for inside and outside, and also for up high, of really trying to get your hand in the right position and deflecting balls down into the bucket. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay. Okay, so if you have somebody that can toss you the ball, it makes it a little bit easier because you can kind of go inside, outside, up high with the pitches. Okay, and again, you're just trying to deflect the ball into the bucket, and that puts your hand in the proper position. Okay, so you're inside, you're outside, you're up, and then we don't work on that for low pitches. What we work on for low pitches, it's a little bit harder kind of to do inside off a wall, is we actually have our coach throw low pitches that skip, and they skip on the ground, on the turf, on the carpet, and then our players try to catch those low pitches off of like a short hop. Okay, that one's a little bit more difficult to kind of show here, but I'll see if I can get that drill on tape. Okay, and then the last drill is one also that I can't show you, but is kind of super fun that our guys like. It's called rapid fire, and rapid fire is a drill that really almost all catchers and catching coaches use. You have somebody that has like 6 or 7 balls, and again, any kind of ball is fine. If you're using regular hard balls, you want to have a mask on. And so what happens is our coach will rapid fire the balls to the catcher, and the catcher won't catch them. They will just deflect them down in front. And again, in deflecting it, it just puts the glove in the right position, okay? And they have to move their hands quick. Having quick hands as a catcher is always something that's great to work on because you want to kind of beat the ball to the spot. And, you know, you can't expect every pitch to be down the middle, and you got to move with it. The ball is moving. Certain pitchers have, different movement on the ball. Some sink, some cut, okay? So I'm going to explain kind of this drill as what you would do as the thrower, and then if you have your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother, they can practice, that rapid fire thing, and then as the catcher, you're just going to quickly move your glove and try to deflect the ball. Okay, so there you go. So as the coach, let's say the catcher's that way. Okay, so as the coach, actually, let me get a couple softer balls out here. In here. Okay, so what we would do is, so my catcher would be over there, and they would be ready, and I would be down in this position, and I would try to rapidly throw it to the catcher. So it looks like this. Okay, so I'd go. So that's about 6 or 7 balls that would go to the catcher, and the catcher would kind of go as quick as they could and try to get to those pitches. Okay? All right, so those are just some of the receiving drills that we use. In the next video, I'll go over blocking with you. The next video, I'll do some throwing, and then we'll finish up with some traits of a catcher. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Hopefully you can get something out of this when you're at your house and in your backyard. Thanks. Talk to you soon.